Is it running? Paul, I'm nervous.
To Marjul, the Domeno's house, 1897. About 3 years after, in 1900, we had a house built here on 481 Springfield Avenue, and we moved here. And I was 3 years old. And then I went to school up here on Plainfield Avenue. And about 8, 9 years old, I hurt up my leg riding a bicycle. I fell off it. And they put me in the school here. That was a kindergarten at the time, see? So while I got cured here, then I went back to the one-room school. And then in 1910, I think, yeah, just before the Columbia School was finished, I went to work. And I worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, for $4 a day, and every other Sunday. And didn't get paid for every other Sunday. We just got paid for the 6 days, $4 a week. And I had 9 sisters. I had to go to work, see? And when we moved here, we had nothing but a dirt road here on Springfield Avenue. And we used to pasture our cows there. And then when the road got better, when they fixed the road, we pastured our 8 cows down at the A&P parking lot, where the bank is there, the United Bank, United County Bank, and the Summit and Elizabeth Bank around the lake. We had that all fenced in with 8 cows in it. My father was always a farmer, and I stuck it out with him. See?
Were the rest of the families here farmers also?
Huh?
Were the other Italian families here also farmers?
Who?
The other people that lived here in Berkeley Heights.
Well, yeah, they had to do a little farming, everybody. Every Italian family had cows for milk, and we had chickens for meat and stuff like that. We had to them days. You didn't have no stores to go to unless we went into the Orange, see, and maybe Summit once in a while. But them days, we had to work. We had to work for a living in the hard way, see? And I remember then as I kept growing, we didn't have no lights. We didn't have nothing here. No water, no lights, no sewers, nothing. When we first moved here, all we had here was 4 rooms. 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs. Now we got living rooms. We added to the house. And I worked, and then I came here to a firework factory. They call that the Essex Specialty Company. Used to make fireworks. And every once in a while we had a fire there. Okay? But as far as the town, we didn't have that many houses here. On Springfield Avenue here, I could put in your name, we had the old schoolhouse up here, and there's a house up in the bank is 2, one is 3, where Malcolm Smith is 4, and then my uncle, a brick house is 6, then you go to behind the Esso gas station. There was a house there, and they threw that down. And from there we went all the way to Women. You acquainted with Berkeley Heights?
Somewhat.
You know Women? Across from that little church down here on Springfield Avenue?
No, I don't.
There's a church there on Springfield Avenue, and there's a nice field on the left going down. Big pines and an old house sitting there. That used to be Johnson's place. So we had 6, and that one made it 7. Then we went to Honeyman, 8. We went across from Fanara's farm before you get to Fanara's. About 9 houses on Springfield Avenue.
Houses.
Yeah, about 10 houses on Springfield Avenue. And we had maybe the one in the corner where the cleaner is now. And then we had Soul, where they dumping all that dirt in Inella that makes it 3. And the one across from the library makes it 4. And we didn't have no more houses until we got up to the Foxes and Birdmuller. They threw them 2 down. So that would make it another, what, 5 or 6, 7 houses. And 9 here was about 18, 19 houses in the whole town when I was a kid.
Wow, it
Yeah,
was really
when
a
I was
small
born,
town then.
yeah.
When did the town first start to grow? When did the businesses come in?
You mean here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we had a couple of stores in the 30s. One in the corner, and was a saloon, and then they made a little grocery store out of it, and we had a little grocery store here where the shoemaker's not a friendly gobbler. And that was it. Then where H.R. Block is, they opened a little grocery store there, you know, and a little at a time, and in the 40s. Well, in the late 40s, before they put that shopping center, the first part, where the post office is now. It could have been in the middle 40s. And we had that, yeah, every bit of it. In the 50s, they started with that. Then we start getting big, you know, the girls start going to work. And then we seen little daylight, you know, relieve my father and mother out of a lot of work.
Can you recall some of the businesses, say, that the Italian-American families here started?
Over here?
Yeah. I think some of them are probably still in business now.
Well, yeah, where the shoemaker is, that grocery went out. Where H.R. Block was, that grocery store went out, and then they threw that building down at the corner. It used to be a saloon towards the end. That was a grocery store. Then you know Malcolm Smith up there by the swim club, the new swim club, across the street from there, that big house? Well, that used to be a grocery store and feed store there. Oh yeah, you want a bag of oats for your horse or a bag of feed for your cows, you go there, you'd get it. And you go up there with your horse and wagon and come back with what you needed. Eh? I remember that. And on the avenue here in the early 12, 13, 19, 14, this road here, they go up and sell hay, the Newark or Summit. People from Gillette cut hay in the summertime and loose, no bale hay, and they used to go by here. And I couldn't tell you, in about the 20th or something, we got lights here. And all us kids...
Street lights.
Yeah, street lights. And all us kids, we get together, you know, and get under there, wait for that light to go on so we could play when it got dark. See?
Gas lights?
Yeah, and nothing in the house, no light in the house. You had lamps. And you better make sure that lamp, you get a newspaper or an old rag and wipe that chimney out every night before it gets dark, because it was burned by kerosene, you know. And make sure you get your water in for the night, and make sure you get enough wood in for the night. And when my father came home from New Brownlands, in the cold weather, he had a mustache. It was frozen on him from breathing, you know. And he'd pull in about 6, 7 o'clock at night, and where do you think he'd go? He'd go behind the stove. If me and my sister Tressa, the one that's 80 years old now, and I'm 78, we didn't have enough wood cut up and put behind that stove for the night. We know about it. We got to get out there in the dark and put it there. And in the wintertime, you know, 6 o'clock is dark already. So we had to get the wood in, we had to water it and feed the chickens and water the cows, you know. Yeah, because my father leaves 6 o'clock in the morning. I left 6 o'clock in the morning, go and work at the Cotterdon's greenhouse in Murray Hill. 6 o'clock in the morning, you walk up the street. There's no, the only train was there was a little after 7. And I couldn't make that one because I had to be working 7 o'clock. So it took me an hour to walk up there through Central Avenue. You know where them nice factories are up in there? Well, we get out there where the Blue Sunoco gas station is, and